quick tip for keeping your budget out of a situation in which you end up saying, well, budgets are more than just math, is to plan ahead. Planning to eat most of your meals at home is going to save you tons of money. And I'm not talking about takeout here. I'm talking about planning and making and eating most of your meals at home, bringing your lunch to school or work, doing your grocery shopping, making your grocery list. I'm going to show you how we do it, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas. I'm Megan with Bethel Budgets, and I'm here because it's more than just math. Perhaps you've made a budget. You've laid out your income, you've laid out your expenses, and your budget didn't work out. The reason is because it is more than just math. I don't want you to give up. You've got this. Some tips for planning your meals and eating most of your meals at home. Here's some things that we do in our house that might help you. Tip number 1 is we keep a Google Sheet that I share between me and my husband that has a list of all of our kids' favorite meals. If anybody says, "Ooh, Mom, I like this," then I'm going to write it down because most of the time it's a fight. Dinner is a fight at our house and it's depressing. So if somebody says they like something, I'm going to make a note of it. And so I keep a spreadsheet. Of course I do. You know me by now. I keep a spreadsheet and I've got it sorted out by chicken, beef, pork recipes, side dishes. I don't know what the last thing is, other probably. And I'll show it to you. I'll put a screenshot, and then I have the links to all of the recipes, and I have date columns for the last time that we made the meal so that I can keep the rotation going. I haven't kept up with that since January. It had good intentions, but at least I have the meals and I have the links to the recipes. And when I come across new things, I add it to there. So that way, when I sit down to make my meal plan, I have a list of recipes I can pull from that I know my family is going to like. And then I can try something new too, but I have the go-tos and I have the link to the recipe. So then it's all right there when I'm getting started. And then tip number 2 is to use a shared grocery list. This has been super helpful. My husband does the majority of our grocery shopping, which is fantastic. I hate going to the grocery store. Hate it. I really, really, really hate it. And he doesn't mind. He likes leaving the house. He likes doing the running around. So he does the grocery shopping. But I'm a paper and pencil kind of girl, and he is not. So what we've come up with is a shared grocery list. So we use our groceries, and anytime we run out of something, we just add it to the list. On this list has a list of different stores. And then if I know that we get this item at this store or this item at this store, I go into that store's list and I add that item, or he adds that item. And then whoever does go to the grocery store on Sundays, my husband likes to go do most of our grocery shopping and he'll hit our 3 stores. But if he doesn't, and on Monday or Tuesday, I have to go to a grocery store, we still have that list that remains that we can go finish up. Tip number 3 is to put your meal plan in your digital family calendar. So we have a digital family calendar. We use Google Calendars. It's shared calendar between my husband and I, his business calendar, and all of our kids. So it's beautiful. It's color-coded. It's wonderful. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't want everybody in the world to know where every member of my family is going to be at any given time. That's just not safe. So I'm not going to show it to you, even though I think it's a work of art. But here's what we do. We have our meal plan. It's got its own special shared calendar, and it's blue. So I put down what time dinner is, what we're having for dinner, and I'll link the recipe in that meal plan for whatever day we're having that recipe. That way, if I'm not home and I need to call my husband and he can start dinner, or I need to call on one of my older kids and they can start dinner, it's all there. The recipe's there. They can click on it, read through, they can preheat an oven, they can start pulling out ingredients for me, or they can start and cook dinner. And so if you don't have a shared Google Calendar, get one. We also have a skylight that we use so the kids can do all their chores on there and they can click on there and see, even my youngest one. He's going to be 6 next week, but he can click on there and he can read what's for dinner this week without having to get on some sort of device. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't have a a Chromebook or anything yet, but he can get on there and he can see what his chores are. He can see what's for dinner. He can see what we're doing this day or whatever day of the week. So those are my 3 tips. 1, keep a list of meals with the recipes. 2, use a shared grocery list. And 3, keep a family calendar that has a meal plan on it so everybody is up to date. Now, as far as making the actual menu, first you have to look at your calendar. You have to know what days are busy, who's going to be home, and what time does dinner need to be. When you see our calendar, we have a Wednesday where my husband doesn't get home till 6 and we have somewhere to be at 6:30. So I have to have dinner on the table at 6. It's got to be something that we can quickly clean up and get out the door. So we have like 15 minutes to maybe 20. So you have to know what's going on. There's going to be nights when dad's not home and he has different dietary metrics that he's trying to meet for his goals. I have different things that I'm trying to do. So depending on who's home, we would have different things to eat, or we would have different difficulty levels. On Sunday, we don't have anywhere to be in the afternoon or evening, so I can make something that's a little bit nicer that takes a little bit more time. On Thursday, mom's not going to be home. Dad has people coming over that night, so he's got to get home from work and have everybody on board to clean the house and make dinner. So to make life easier, we're going to do frozen pizza and French fries that night. But we wouldn't be able to figure that out if we hadn't looked at the calendar first. So step 1, look at the calendar. Step 2, figure out your meals and don't forget the sides. It's important to plan out your sides or you're going to have your entree and nothing else for dinner. So always list out your sides as well. And then step 4, create your grocery list as you go. As you're writing down, I'm making pretzel crusted pork chops. Oh yeah, okay, I need to get the gluten-free pretzels. I need to put pork chops on my list. Do I have the eggs that I need for that? Yeah. Do I have all the seasonings? Yeah. So make your grocery list as you go. I hope that this meal planning video was super helpful to you. I hope that the tips for creating a menu that your family likes, that you can repeat from, that contains all of the links to the recipes. I hope that you like that tip. I hope the shared grocery list tip is helpful to you. I hope that you will start making your meals at home and making your lunches and batch baking some breakfasts or taking some of these tips that will help you to bring down your dining out budget and bring down your grocery budget and help you to save some money. So, as always, don't give up. You've got this.